the webinar, we have enabled our Ask a Question feature. It is on the bottom of your screen. So if you have any question, just put them in there. Today, we have a well-respected subject matter expert, trainer, and speaker. Please welcome Jim Hollis. Jim, you can take it from here.
Oh, okay. Thank you, everybody. I want to welcome all you here today to, again, this particular presentation. Again, like I say, my name is Jim Hollis. Let me go back to the beginning slide. Okay, we're going to start right here. Okay, welcome everybody. Again, I'm totally thrilled and excited to be with all of you here today. And again, I remember, for example, posting, for example, on LinkedIn. And one of the things I said was this: are you sick and tired of your current career or job profession? Do you want to spice it up and invigorate your current career path? This is the thing. There are so many people out there today, they become too comfortable. They stop growing. They stop wanting anything. They become literally satisfied, right? Did you know that so many people are getting ready today to go for a job or profession they don't like? Now, these jobs or these particular professions are literally making people sick. The point is that when you are not pursuing or doing something that you truly enjoy, everybody, you are committing spiritual and also what? Career suicide. So if you're looking to change your career path, then pursuing a career again in cybersecurity should be your ultimate destination. Guess what, everybody? Because it's all about lifelong learning. And really, it's, at the end of the day, it's truly a mindset. When you begin to think about, again, doing something that you truly enjoy. I should have changed this presentation to say, for example, how to turbocharge your career path via an industry-wide IT certification. So let's get going here this afternoon, everybody, or this evening. Again, already the initial presented provided you an overview then of the organization itself. Again, so I don't need to mention it in that way, but you pretty much, he gave you a brief background in terms of how long they've been in the business and some of his experience as well. Let me begin by showing you or demonstrating to you some of my experiences here. My name is Jim Hollis, and I will be your subject matter expert. I hold various certifications in information security, including the Certified Information Security Manager, oftentimes referred to as a CISM certification, as well as a System Security Practitioner, as well as numerous other certifications, everybody. But it should also be noted that I firmly believe that my designation, again, as a Microsoft Certified Trainer, as well as being CompTIA Cloud Certified, and many other certifications are most relevant for this particular presentation here today. Now, in terms of brief background in terms of my overall experience, I served my country for 22 years in the Marine Corps. Upon retiring from the Marine Corps, I went to work for a city of Miramar, worked there for many years, retired from there, and I still was not done. Went to work for another city of actually Miami Beach. From there, I retired from there. And now I'm truly doing the thing that I most enjoy doing, interacting with can-do people like yourselves. Again, because again, any student that attend my class, you are a can-do person. You got to believe you can get it done, and guess what? You get the job done. Now, also, everybody, I'm also, again, an author. I produced a number of different cybersecurity courses in the past, right? Also, again, I'm also a college professor. I teach at a number of different universities actually teaching cybersecurity. Now, in terms, you may say, Jim, what is your teaching philosophy? I'm going to tell you what it is, everybody. I see teaching as a reciprocal relationship between the instructor and the student. And I believe that as an instructor, say, for example, you get me as an instructor, it's my duties as an instructor, right, is to create an environment that conducive to your learning. Knowledge to be impactful in terms of achieving your life goals. Materials, opportunities, and feedback to assist you in the learning, right? And assist with developing and maintaining motivation to be successful academically and with life applications. In short, here's what I believe. I believe what W.E. Yeats said some years ago when he captured, again, the exhilaration of teaching. When he wrote, education is not just about filling a pail, but it's the lightning of a fire. My goal, should you attend one of the classes and I'm your instructor, I'm going to ignite within you a passion for academic excellence, everybody. Now, again, one of the things I encourage my students is, in this life nowadays, you have to become a Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman. People say, what do you mean by Renaissance? A jack of all trade, a master of none. For example, when you get certification, you don't just get one and just stop. You want to keep diversifying your skill set. Get some cloud, get some of this, get some of that, right? So you diversify your skill sets. Now, you may say, Jim, how have you diversified your skill sets? Well, I'm a licensed claim adjuster. I'm a licensed claim adjuster. I'm also, for example, certified in safety. I'm certified in HR. So again, I am truly a Renaissance man. I often tell my students, you want to become either a Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman. What I mean by a jack of all trade, a master of none, right? So like here, I got some of my certification lists here, everybody. But guess what? I want to share with you one thing about it that hopefully will motivate you, everybody. See all the certificates I got here? Did I pass the first time? No. Were there some failures? Yes. But what happened? When I get knocked down, everybody, I get back up again. I make sure I get knocked down on my back and I get back up again, right? And there have been some certification took me a third time was a charm, right? But some people take one and say, well, it's not meant for me to do that. No, that's not true. You have to go back and level up, right? And get through that process, right? Because again, everybody that attends my class, they're can-do people, right? I believe you can get it done. The problem now is you got to believe you can get it done. And remember, a lot of times in life, we tend to be our own worst naysayer. Somebody tell you can't do it, it's bad enough, but then you start believing that you can't do it. Guess what? You defeated already, right? So let me share another thing about it. This again from one of my students from many years ago. This is what he wrote about me. I said, man, that's what I want to reflect out of the student. I want the student to say, you know what, this guy really cares about what I'm doing. And he encouraged me, right? So when I saw that on LinkedIn, I said, wow, I did that. Did I spend all those hours with that student encouraging them? I always encourage people, right? When I have a class, I have no favorites. Every student is my favorite. Why does I say that? I have two daughters. I don't do for one, I don't do for the other. If I buy a car for one, guess what? The other one will get a car. And that's the way I treat my students. I treat everybody the same. Why? And I tell people that you can get it done. Now, some of you may say, you know, Jim, I'm not in the IT field now. You know, how difficult is it for me to get into the field? It's only difficult as you want it to be. Here's a true story. I had a young lady in my class who was a registered nurse, had no IT experience whatsoever, none. I remember a time she told me, she said, Jim, I don't know if I could get this done. I said, young lady, I believe you can get it done. The question now, do you believe it? Now, this young lady now is truly out there in the IT field nowadays. Every time I see her get new certificates, guess what? Jim trying to get a new one. So again, I'm telling you about it. It's not where you started in life. It's where you finish, right? The only limitation is yourself, right? Don't let nobody or anybody ever tell you can't get it done. You got to believe you can get it done and get the job done, right? So that's some feedback from my former students, right? Now, one of my LinkedIn friends posted this about cybersecurity. And I looked, I said, wow. I say, Steve caught that. That's exactly what I was thinking about cybersecurity. Because to be honest with you, everybody, I travel all across the country. And last week, I was teaching a class to a bunch of students over in the UK, a virtual class, mind you. I'm looking forward to doing some traveling. Matter of fact, this past week, this was the week before. This past week, I just got back from Maryland. I was teaching like a 5-day CISM course up in Maryland. So again, I'm looking forward to, I love the face-to-face classes. Again, I also love the virtual classes. In fact, a lot of my students that attended my virtual class, they gave me great reviews, even though it's virtual. Wow, they see me the whole time, and I kept telling them, you can get it done. I believe I inspired those individuals. It was only 2 of the students in the UK, and I've never been to the Netherlands, but one day I'm going to get to the Netherlands, right? So I'm just telling you, the only thing that keeps you from getting where you need to go is yourself, right? Now, what I said to Steve, I said, Steve, you're correct, because it's all about lifelong learning. Too many times people get into fields like even cybersecurity, any IT field, and they stop getting certifications. Now, myself personally, you know how many certificates am I trying to get this year? 12. That's my goal, 12 brand new certifications. Why? Because guess what? If you stop getting certification, you become irrelevant, right? And again, the IT field is big, is blowing up right now. There's many opportunities to get, particularly once you get one of those recognized certifications, it can start opening doors for you that will close, right? So again, like I said, it's up to you. I remember I was teaching one boot camp not too long ago. It was one of those 22-week boot camps. And what happened is, not one of my students, Now, the students that went through this program didn't even have a degree. I mean, didn't have a degree in IT whatsoever. They went through the 22-week program, right? Then what they did is they actually got what they got. They had to get a certification. And the first job this person had out of the door, 80 grand a year. I wouldn't even make 80 grand when I first started Miramar. I'm just telling you, there's so many opportunities. That's such a critical shortage now that a lot of people, they have boot camps spraying all across the country. So right now, this is the destination to be at, right, everybody? And guess what? And remember, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but if I can do it, you can do it. Believe that, everybody. Keep telling yourself that. Now, let's take a look at my agenda here. Here's what we're going to kind of cover here for the next few moments. First of all, we're going to talk about provide you an introduction to CompTIA. The next thing is this one here is coming up. What is the CompTIA Sec Plus and why it's important? Also, who should take the CompTIA Security Plus? Benefits of the CompTIA Security Plus. Also, we're going to compare the SY 601 and the 701, which again, this is a brand new certification. And guess what? Maybe about 3 weeks ago, I sat for and got past this exam. And then to turn around a week later, got certified as cybersecurity analyst, everybody. So again, when people tell me they can't get it done, they work too much, it's up to you. You can get anything done once you put your mind to it. It becomes a priority for you, right? Now, we'll talk a little bit about exam patterns as well. Now, this next chart shows a career path, everybody. Like I said, the field of cybersecurity is so wide open now. There's so many opportunities, right, for you, right? Now, let's say, for example, I want to get into security, right? I would get the Security Plus, then I would do the SSCP, and then maybe move to the CISSP. That's the one I'm working on right now, studying for the CISSP, which again is I would say the granddaddy of certification. I have the CISM, but I'm working on getting this one right now. I'm also working on getting the CISSA, this one down here. Although I'm already a certified auditor, I'm working to get this one that's offered by ASACA. ASACA certification. So again, this actually shows you the career path, everybody. And guess what, everybody? The field is you can make good money. And guess what? It's not going away, because as long as these criminals keep doing things, there going to always be opportunities for get money, make more money. I have one of my students right now that I remember back years ago when I was at IT Tech. This gentleman making tons of money now. Remember, I told you it's not where you start at, it's where you finish at, right? And again, you say, Jim, what can help me get through that process? You got to be, number one, intentional. You got to be motivated. And remember, when you get knocked out, don't say, hey, I'm not staying down, I'm getting back up again, and go back and do it again. That's what you have to do. You have to have that mindset, everybody. Now, let's take a look at the CompTIA, for example. Now, remember, CompTIA was created back in 1982 as the Association of Better Computer Dealers. Later, it changed its name to Computing Technology Industry Association. Now, back in 2010, CompTIA moves the headquarters into a new office space in a facility, say, for example, in Darwin Grove, Illinois at this time. Now, one of the certificates I'm working on right now is remember, I'm a accredited trainer for IC Squared. I'm also accredited trainer to teach the CISM. I'm working on now become, again, a certified accredited trainer to teach CompTIA, although I got quite a number of CompTIA certifications at this time. Now, again, you may ask, who is CompTIA? With more than 2 million IT certificates issued worldwide, CompTIA is dedicated to helping IT professionals lead the charge in our digital connected world. Now, I mentioned before, you may say, Jim, I don't have any experience. I think I told you, I had a young lady, a registered nurse. She started with Security Plus. That was the very first certification she got. And here's the amazing thing. I had people in my class who had IT experience, right? But they didn't take my advice. Know what I told this young lady? I said, what you do, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to cover chapters 1, 2, and 3. What up the next day? Read it. Now, when you read it, what happens? You may not understand what's going on, but guess what? If you took the time to read that information, when we come back to class the next day, guess what? That's how you maximize your learning experience, right? If you don't do that, let's say you go to class, one of Jim's class, and you expect you're going to pass certificates by just listening to me. It's not going to work. Here's what's going to happen. If you're in my class and you have not read the chapter, you'll be suffering from a very debilitating disease that I suffered from some years ago. It's called the lights on, but hello, nobody's home, right? So you have to be heavily invested, right? Again, I'll be telling you, that's what you need to do. Now, also another thing about everybody, the Security Plus certificate is updated every 3 years. Every 3 years, they update their certification. Now, the great thing about this, everybody, once you get the CompTIA certification, right, the only thing you need to do is maintain the CEUs. Now, here's another option I do. I don't try to chase CEUs. Know what I do? Keep getting certifications. That automatically renew them. and remember, you get high one, it renew that one. You have to sit there and do no CEUs. That's the best approach I would recommend. Rather than you chasing CEUs, just keep getting certification. I set 12 a year. So guess what? I ain't had to worry about no CEUs, right? Because I know I'm going to be able to renew all my stuff, right? So again, I mentioned before, the Security Plus is updated every 3 years. Each iteration of the exam is labeled according to a series number. For example, previous version of the exam was labeled SY301, 401, 501. Again, and in fact, CompTIA updates the exam to keep the material current with the latest cybersecurity trends. The latest update brings, again, the Security Plus to 701. That's the latest one. And I just actually set for that one here, everybody, and actually passed the exam, right? Now, obviously, with each update, CompTIA changes exam objectives, requirements, and adjusts the concept and technology tested to the exam. For example, the SY601 saw the introduction of the Internet of Things, security information, in other words, the SIM system. So again, that's why it's so important that you continue to engage in what we call lifelong learning. Now, as a professional trainer, I'm constantly getting certifications. Why is that? Because when I teach a class, or let's say you decide to teach, they say, I'm going to get that, I want to be in that 701 class that Jim teaching. When you come to class, guess what? I'm going to give you insight what you need to do and what you need to study for to get through the exam. If you take my advice, you'll get it or you'll get done. That's how it works, everybody. And again, like I said, a lot of my students, I have developed long-term relationship to via LinkedIn. A lot of times my students reach back out to me because I actually, a lot of times what I do with my students, I get them free. I free coach it. I coach them. They may come and say, Jim, what's the next certification I need to work on? What's your recommendation? And I tell them what it is. And I do it free of charge. Why? Because when I have a student in my class, I love to see people successful. To me, why do you say, Jim, why do you do it that way? Here's why I believe that, buddy. Because if you've been blessed like I've been blessed, you want to be a blessing to anybody you come in contact with and encourage them. And the only thing I ask of you is this: help somebody else along the way. That's it. Return it. Keep returning that to somebody else. That's my only requirement when I help somebody, right? I don't charge you no money. I just tell you, return the kindness that I gave you to somebody else. Encourage somebody else to move on in their career. That's all I ask, right? Now, if you look at CompTIA, for example, remember, there are popular certifications offered by CompTIA. My goal, everybody, is to get every single certification that CompTIA has to offer. And I'm not too, and it won't be long before I have that done. I'm going to get the job done, okay? Now, this is one of the highest certifications that CompTIA offers. It's called a CASP one. Again, this is for professionals looking to validate knowledge as an expert level. It covers specialized enterprise security topics related to architecture, encryption, system integration, and also incident response. Again, the great thing about CompTIA, everybody, as you go through the different certifications, guess what, everybody? There's a lot of redundancy. It builds and builds. Like, for example, let's say I want to start with Security Plus. You know the next one I tell you to get the CompTIA cybersecurity analyst certification. After done that one, move on to the pen test certification. And then after that, you can go for the big daddy there, or the big kahuna, called a CASP certification. Now, the next one kind of highlights called a pen test, everybody. So oftentimes, let me talk about the cybersecurity analyst first of all. This exam taps into the sophisticated side of info security to highlight your skills. It dives into using intrusion detection system to sniff out threats, as well as role data analytics play in terms of understanding, again, malicious behavior. We come to the good old pen test. A lot of time I see students come in, they say, I want to be a pen tester. But guess what, everybody? You cannot become a pen tester until you have what? That foundational knowledge, right? So again, you don't want to start with pen test. You start with Security Plus. Now, sometimes students start with the A+, they do the Network Plus, they do Security Plus. But guess what, everybody? You don't have to start there. You can start with Security Plus. And maybe later on, maybe you want to work your way back to the other ones if that's something you want to do. But I would say this: you would probably start with the Security Plus. That'd be a great place to start at, to establish that foundational knowledge, right? Now, again, moving on from here, everybody, I want to talk about not the pen test, right? This exam takes an offensive approach to cybersecurity. It's suited for aspiring, remember, if you want to be an aspiring ethical hacker, this is the type of certification you want to pursue, right? It establishes what we call in-depth knowledge of the art of penetration testing. In other words, you walk away with the tools necessary for you to identify gaps in cybersecurity, and also allow you to teach you how to close them before they can be exploited. In other words, the key point about it, you don't wait till the cows get out to close the gate. You close that darn gate before the cows get out. Remember, cybersecurity is all about being proactive. Now, if you're going to aspire to work in the cybersecurity field, you cannot operate from a knee-jerk reaction. You have to be proactive, right? Remember, if you think about it, it's all about planning. Remember, life is all about planning. If you fail to plan, guess what happened? You plan to fail. Let's take a look now at what we call the CompTIA Security Plus certification. Now, this is suited for individuals who are pursuing a career in cybersecurity. You establish your ability to detect, respond to security attacks, monitor the network for potential threats, evaluate existing security measures, and provide insight that can help organizations bolster again their security effort. Now, that's what we're talking about, the Security Plus, right? Now, the Network Plus is another certification that they offer everybody. This can help you land an entry-level position in the computer networking space. These positions may include, for example, network administrator. Now, if you're a network administrator, you know what happened? You handle configuration, installation, maintenance of supporting components, and other tasks required to manage the network day-to-day basis in this case. Now, one thing I like about cybersecurity nowadays, everybody, there's so many women getting into the cybersecurity field. And guess what? We need them. The women have a lot to me. I may be a little biased, everybody, because I have 2 daughters. I tried to encourage both my daughters to get in the IT security field. Neither one. But my one daughter, I'm happy to say, my one daughter's doing fabulous. In fact, she told me the other day, said, Dad, I was on the phone. I said, with who? World Bank. I said, go, girlfriend. But I wanted her to get in that, but she decided to do something different, right? But again, that's a clear case of where father don't always know best, right? So anyway, another thing, you become also a network support specialist. You provide maintenance and support services that optimize the health and security of the network. Your duties may range from addressing customer support queries to implementing measures that safeguard the network from malware and other types of threats. In other words, malware is called malicious software, right? Now, we also have another certification CompTIA offers here. It's called a CompTIA A+. Now, in order to get this certification, you have to pass 2 different exams. Once you pass both the exams, guess what happened? You're then A+ certified. Now, like I said, a lot of these certifications right here, you take 1 exam, you get the certification. Now, if you start getting into, for example, IC squared type certification, you have to not only pass the exam, you have to submit an application showing you have literally 5 years of actual IT experience before you can actually get that certification. But this case is different. You pass the certification exam, you get the certification in your hand. The other good thing, when you're going through our course, right, if you have absolutely no IT experience, you get hands-on labs. You get to sharpen your skills by actually doing a lot of lab exercises within a virtual environment. So that's a great thing. So when you're going through the CompTIA A+, everybody, this way you actually certify your skills and knowledge of operating system, networking, virtualization, mobile device technology, and also cybersecurity as well. Now, this is another certification right here, everybody. It's called a CompTIA, again, IT fundamentals, right? That's another great certification to obtain as well. Now, this is like an entry-level exam, and what it does, it validates your knowledge of the core tenets of the information technology. It covers elementary concepts such as operating systems, everyday software programs, web browsing, and also computer. Again, it's not a difficult exam. In fact, I just recently took the exam because somebody gave me, this one company I did work for, they gave me a voucher. And I said, okay, I'll go and take the certification, get the certification. I didn't have to pay for it, so I knocked it out. So again, moving on from here, so you may say, why CompTIA Security Plus? Now remember, there are many benefits to passing this CompTIA Security Plus exam. Now, some of the benefits include, for example, increased job opportunities, right? In other words, more doors open up opportunities for you. Now, another thing, you may say, Jim, what's another way I can break the field? And I tell a lot of my, matter of fact, when I was teaching back in the day at ITT Tech, and I had students trying to break the field, I said, go to this meeting right here and tell them you're looking for an internship. And what happened, one of my students came and said that they're not looking for it, they didn't have any internship, but I got hired. I said, there you go, my friend. He got hired, going to some type of IT convention or thing and got hired on the spot. Again, there's increased opportunities, right? Now, higher salary. Everybody like to make a little bit more money, right? And a little bit more jingle in their pocket, right? So again, this is another reason why high salary. For example, according to a study by the Burning Glass Technology, IT professional with a CompTIA Security Plus certificate can earn an average of $10,000 more per year than those without certification. So again, that's incentive to aid. That may be your motivation. Another thing, enhanced skills. This is another great thing, right? Your CompTIA Security Plus exam covers a wide range of security topics, so pass exam can help you improve your security skills and knowledge, right? Again, everybody in this class is a can-do person. If you doubted yourself before you come say, I don't know if I could do that, you can. You can. I'm telling you can. If I can do it, you can do it, right? Now, moving on from here, enhanced credibility. Now, the CompTIA Security Plus is a respected certification in the IT security industry. Having this certification can help you gain credibility with employers and also customers. Now, remember, this is what I've seen happen many years ago. I used to interview people that were going for particular jobs in the IT field. A lot of people had degrees. They think, hey, I'm good to go with a degree. The problem is this, everybody. It's okay to have the degree, but it's also important also to have that certification and maybe have maybe did an internship. Now, when I was back many years ago, I think I was at Paris Island at the time, I remember doing an internship with this one ISP provider. I didn't make any extra money, but guess what, everybody? They wrote me a stellar recommendation, and that actually spearheaded my career from that point on. So again, I have had students before that they say I'm going to get the certification, and they actually speak to maybe a local government, somebody say, I'm working on this field or trying to pursue this career. Do you have any type of internships? A lot of times you can find internships there. And a lot of time what happened is I had one individual that went to the city, think he's going to get an internship. Guess what? He got hired. And now I had known one guy to start off in the IT field I think he started off because he had his master's degree and all that kind of stuff. He started as intern, not making no money. Then he moved up. Now he's a director. I'm just telling you, it's not where you start, everybody. It's where you finish at, right? The sky's the limit, right? And that's the point I want to make here. Now, some of the careers you can aim for when you pass the exam include, for example, the security analyst. You may want to become a security analyst. Maybe you might become a security engineer, right? Security architect. That's another one. Security consultant. And maybe someday down the line, you may say, you know what, Jim, I want to do what you're doing. Guess what? There's a critical need for people to teach this stuff. There's a critical need. I don't have no problem getting work, everybody. Matter of fact, I retired from 3 different jobs. I'm not even connecting my Social Security now, right? And I'm teaching class in the UK. Matter of fact, I'm probably be going up to Utah here probably in 2 months from now. So I stay very busy. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm telling you about when you do something you enjoy doing, it's not considered work. To me, my wife said, you're in your own little sandbox. You got that right. She asked me, do you want to go back and work for a city again? I said, no. Why would I do that? I'm having too much fun. Right? Well, I go back and work for a local ministry. I retired from 2 cities. I want to go back in that rug race anymore. I'm enjoying what I'm doing now. Being able to interact with individuals like yourself, can do people, right? Now, also, you become an incident responder. You become a threat hunter as well, a vulnerability analyst. So remember, the sky's the limit. Again, even if you get an IT field, here's what I suggest you do: get some certifications, for example, in cybersecurity. But another thing you always want to do is keep this in mind. We never, in life, you can plan all you want. Things can happen that you don't even anticipate. But one of the reasons I suggest everybody, if you're not doing it, strive to become a Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman. You may say, Jim, why should I do that? I'm going to explain to you why. I was working for the city of Miami Beach, right? For almost a year and a half, I was working remotely from home. And then I got a call. My boss said, Jim, we're eliminating your position. But guess what, everybody? I had the time. I was able to retire. A lot of people were not able to retire. And guess what? I had a bunch of side hustles already, so I didn't lose a beat at all. I'm just telling you, you got to be prepared because things can happen that you don't even anticipate. But the thing about it, you have to proactively prepare. Like, for example, I know one individual who was working in the field. He lost his job, but on LinkedIn, he had a lot of connection. People were throwing jobs at him because he had a bunch of cloud certifications. He got a job back in a week, you're back working. Now, the people that run into an issue when you're only one-dimensional, it's kind of hard to get back up again. So I'm just telling you, if you don't take anything from Jim, work toward becoming a Renaissance man or Renaissance woman. It will pay significant dividends, right? Because things can happen that you don't even anticipate. My wife thought I had it made. They told me, hey, your job been eliminated, my friend. Guess what? But I retired. A lot of people did not retire. That's from the city of Miami after the COVID kicked in. Overweight, basically. Now, let's take a look at CompTIA security features. The CASP, remember, this is a gold standard, right? This is the big data. Again, this is advanced level cybersecurity certificates for security architects and also senior security engineers charged with leading and improving the enterprise cybersecurity readiness, right? So this is a gold star. I actually have this certification, right? Remember, this is the only hands-on performance-based certification for advanced practitioners, not managers at the advanced skill level of cybersecurity. Now, remember, while cybersecurity managers can help identify what cybersecurity policies and framework could be implemented, if you're a CASP certified professional, you figure out how to implement solutions within those policies and framework. That's pretty much what you're doing as a CASP, right? Now, we come on now to, again, why CompTIA Security Plus. Again, increase opportunities, everybody. I mentioned that before. This right here is one of the most sought after certification in IT field, IT security industry. Having this certification can help you get your foot in the door and land a job in cybersecurity, right? Again, I mentioned higher salaries, right? According to the study, right, you earn an average $10,000 more per year than those without the certification. You have, again, enhanced skills. Again, you also have increased credibility, which again is very important. So let's compare these, everybody. This exam is called a 601. This is a 701. Now, the great thing about it is this, everybody. Let's say hypothetically, you got the 701. Long as you maintain the CEUs, everybody, you're good to go. Now, when you go and apply for a job, here's a caveat. The employer don't care whether you're 701, 501, 304, long as your certification is still active, right? And they say must be knowledgeable, must have a Security Plus certification. They're not going to ask you if you have 701. Only thing they want to know is are you Security Plus certified? That's the caveat, right? Now, if you look at both of the exams here, everybody, both versions have the same number of domains, but are organized differently. Additionally, if you look at this particular certification right here, for example, it has fewer objectives, right? 28 versus 35 than the actual 601. But guess what? Even though it has that, it's still action-packed, right? But for example, here's some of the things. For example, let's go through the 701, everybody. Now, when you look at 701, you have general computer concept. Again, that's 12% right here. Now, this domain dives into a foundational aspect of security, including the CIA triad. Now, in case you never heard of CIA triad, it stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We're not talking about the CIA headquarters, everybody. When you hear the CIA triad, that's the bedrock on which security is based upon. We got to have confidentiality, integrity, again, availability. It also introduces, again, various types of security controls like preventive, deterrent, corrective, and also zero trust architecture as well. Now, again, we come over to this next domain. This is worth 22%. Remember, the higher the percentage, the more questions you're going to have from that content area itself. Now, this domain focuses on identifying and understanding common threat actors and their motivations, such as nation state, hacktivists, and things. It also discusses various threat vectors like email, we call SMS message or simple mail message text like this into your phone, and also vulnerability software. That's what we look at in that particular domain. You come over now, this domain, again, remember this domain here, again, talking about the threats and vulnerability. This right here actually, again, centered on secure architecture. Also, we discussed the different data types, classification, also methods we use to secure that data. Remember, as a cybersecurity professional, you're required to protect the data in whatever state it appears in. You may say, Dim, what states are you talking about? How about data in processing? How about data in storage? And also data in flight. In other words, anytime information goes across the unsecure infrastructure of the internet, we have to protect that information. You may say, Jim, what's the way we can do that? It's called a VPN, or virtual private network, right? Now we come over to the next one called security operations. This is the most heavily weighted domain and covers a wide range of operational activities, including incident response and the importance of automation and orchestration in secure operations. Then we come on now to this last domain here, which is like 20%, right? This is called a security program management oversight, right? This domain focuses on governance aspects of security, summarizes again the elements of effective security governance like policies and standards. It also goes to the risk management processes, strategies, security awareness practices like phishing recognition, and also user training in this case. So again, this is a new domain right here, right? This again is the old domain right here. Now again, if you're sent for this one right here, you're not really going to prepare you for this one here. So really, you need, if you're going to do it, probably going to be 701. A lot of owners I see now are no longer offering training on the 601, although you have until July to get it done. After that, you don't have then you have to go do 701. But a lot of owners I see now are actually doing the 701. I talk one is they say, Jim, we're not teaching no more 601. We're going to focus on the 701, which is cool, right? That's the newest domain out there right now, the 701. Okay. From here, like this breaks it down a little bit more how you compare it, right? The different one, the 601, 701. Okay. And this is how they kind of pair together. How you see over here, this one is 24%. They just kind of rearrange stuff around here. But again, like I said, to me, the main thing being prepared and studying, and you shouldn't have no problem passing the exam. But again, if you're going through one of the classes here, you'll get access. I think you get access to the actual virtual labs. I think they normally give you 180 days access to the labs. But normally what I tell my students is this: if you're going to sit through a course with Jim, right? And if you take my advice as you go through the course, if I tell you, okay, we're going to be covering chapters 2 and 3 tomorrow, make you prepare before you come to class tomorrow. Again, if you're doing that, read those chapters before you come to class. If you don't quite understand something, right? If I'm just going to, I guess what I'm going to answer, I answer your question. Now, if I don't know the answer, You know what I'm going to do about it? I'm not going to just tell you something and it's not true. I'm going to say, I'm not sure about that response, of course you asked me, but let me get back with you with appropriate response. Again, to me, I don't want to give you any bumps because if I tell you the wrong thing, you won't believe that stuff, and then maybe cause you go get the answer on the exam. So again, if I don't know the answer off the top of my head, I always believe that honesty is always the best thing. Why? Because I don't have all the answers. Sometimes I don't know the answer. Students have asked me questions about something, and I encourage students to ask questions. Why is that? Because when students like yourself ask me questions during the presentation, like one time, it was another issue. Students didn't know for example, how to compress an IP versus 6 address, right? Now we had it in the slides. I said, no problem, my friend. I said, let me get back with you at the lunch. So during the lunch break I sat down and put something together, and then I showed it to the student. He said, I got it, Mr. Hollis. I'm good to go. I say, thank you very much. He said, why are you thanking me? Because I'm going to share it with other students. Remember, I'm trying to anticipate the question students are going to ask me. So basically, if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer to it, you know what? That causes Jim to go into action, right? And to set something up. So the next time when a student asks me a question, I say, bam, they get it like that. Because remember, all of us are different. We learn differently. So you mean, like I said, I'm one of those instructors. Again, I'm like a hands-on instructor, right? I believe in really working with my students and getting them where they need to go at, because it's that important to me. Now, some instructors don't operate the way I do, right? I want you to get it. I want you to be successful. And I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make sure you get there. That's what I do, right? That's what you guarantee to get from Jim. You may not get it from another instructor. To me, the most important thing when I tell students, when you're in the class, when I tell you it's about you, guess what? It is about you. It's not had nothing to do with Jim. And if you come to one of my classes and you think you're going to leave early, no. Even on the last day, if they tell me, Jim, you got to be on from 9 to 5, I'm going to be on at 9 to 5. Even if I only have one student there, I'll work with that one student to get him or her over the finish line, because I'm heavily invested in what I do, right? I want to see you be successful, right? That's the most important thing to me. I like to see people get to where they're going. When people call me, students may say, Jim, thank you very much for helping me out. I said, I didn't do it. You did it. I may have just given you some words of encouragement, but you did it, right? That's it. Don't be patting Jim on the back, pat yourself. You did it. Not me, right? Because again, you set for the exam, you got through the certification. But the thing I want to tell you about it, when you sit through the class, I oftentimes tell students, don't go past a month. Try to take the exam within a month, right? Because if you don't, what I do, here's how I got so many certifications about it. A lot of people say, well, you know, I'm going to get the certificate when I get ready, when I get prepared for it. You know what happened? 1 week go by, a month, then they still ain't done nothing. What I normally do is this. If let's say I'm self-studying for an exam, right? What I do, I look at the material, pick, okay, how much time is it going to take me to get through all this stuff? Okay, 3 weeks. Then I automatically schedule an exam. It forces me to stay on target, right? That's what has helped me to enable me to get so many certificates, although there have been some failures. And I once told me before, Mr. Hollis, that's so refreshing. I thought you got all those on the first time. No, I didn't. But I never gave up. And that's the mindset you have to have. If you don't pass the exam the first time, don't give up. Right? The old saying, it's almost like remind me of Chester Puller back in the Marine Corps. He's in a chosen reservoir. He said, retreat hell, because he was fighting, I guess, the Koreans, but he said, retreat hell, I'm attacking a different direction. So what I'm saying is, if you're doing something, sometimes you can't keep doing the same thing, expect a different result. You have to sometimes change your tactics up and go back at it again. That's the mindset you have to have if you're going to be successful in anything in life, right? Now, from over here, but let's take our next thing here. So why the change to 701 exam so important, everybody? It means that the Secret Plus, in other words, so that this means is that the Secret Plus hopefuls will have until July 2024 and take the 601, everybody. So now's the time to seek quality training that will help you ace the exam on your first attempt, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you studied for the 601 but run out of time to take the exam. Plus, the 701 exam is expected to be much tougher than the 601 version, right? But the main thing, everybody, is this. You have to go and what? Level up. Study, set up a good study routine, and you'll get over the finish line. No doubt in my retired Marine Corps military mind that you can get over the finish line, right? So let's take a look at the exam itself. Now, when you look at example, 90 questions. The type of question you have multiple choice questions and performance-based questions, right? Now, what you need to get is 750, but here's what I suggest you do. If you're going through one of these trainings in the class, do not ever set your expectations low. Set your expectation high. In other words, you know what? When you study for trying to get 900. But at the end of the day, if you get 750, good to go. I even had one of my students, I told him that before, study for the 900. And what happened was he got certified and he was still beating. I said, why are you beating yourself up, my friend? He said, Mr. Hollis, I wanted to get 9. I said, what I told you, 900. I said, did you do your best? Yes, sir. Why you complain? Are you Security Plus certified? Yes. Well, I say, move on, go take your certification, my friend. Stop worrying about you didn't get the highest score possible. You got certified, didn't you? Because at the end of the day, when you go for a job, the employer don't care what your score is. They only want to know is, are you Security Plus certified? Right? And he said, thank you very much. I was beat my. He said, thank you, Mr. Hollis. I was beat myself. I said, you don't need to beat yourself up. The world beats you up enough. Don't beat yourself up. The exam is 90 minutes. Now, again, the voucher costs $392 US that cost. But guess what? That's an investment in your career. Now, if you get to that certificate, guess what? You're going to get a return on investment, right? You're looking for a return on investment. Now, what about continuing? I think I told you before, I don't chase continuing education. What I do is this, but I keep getting certification. So basically, let's say, for example, I have the CASP certification. Now, what I did was I got this other certification from the other company. And guess what? And I submitted that, renewed that, so I didn't have to go chase those CEUs, right? So, but remember, you must remember when you pass the exam during that 3-year period, you better be getting some CEUs or keep getting certification. The worst thing can happen to you about it if you put all that effort into getting certified and you allow yourself to expire. That's not good. So you want to stay on top of it. Like I said, there are many resources to get the CEU, but again, I don't like to chase CEUs. I would just keep getting additional education. Remember, because this field is constantly changing. Every time you turn on, something new come out. Like, for example, if I came to class and you, have you ever heard a term called shadow IT? You say, Jim, what was shadow IT? Let me break it down for what that is. That's like, for example, imagine within your organization, right? You work for a local municipality, and somebody in the HR department say, you know what? It'd be nice if we had the Wi-Fi. So what they do, they say, I don't want to go through all the trouble putting in a work request to IT. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring my own Wi-Fi, my own router in. I know what the port, I'm gonna plug it in. We have Wi-Fi. That's called shadow IT. And we should never have that happen within our ecosystem. Why is that? Because when somebody does that, they create a potential attack vector or entry into which your bad guys, bad girls get entry to your network. That's why we want to stay away from what we call shadow IT, right? So again, that these are continuing education things you can get as well. Now, this is what you need for 20. This is what over the 3-year period, I get 20 CEUs, 30 here. So basically, rather than chase those CEUs, do what? Get a brand new certification. You have to worry about that. Okay. Now, moving on to the next item here. Again, the main thing, preparation is the most important thing you can do. The first thing you have to do before you take this, let's say, for example, you decide to go through one of the trainings here, the Security Plus certification. Again, that's like a 5-day class, 40 hours, right? Once you finish the exam, one of the first thing to do is rest on the CompTIA site. Once you rest on the CompTIA site and set up your account, then what happens is, then you're able to schedule an exam. Once you schedule the exam, right, and you pass the exam, that certificate is going to appear in your portal that you set once you register for the exam. Now, the most important other thing, become familiar with the Security Plus job practices. You also self-assess. Now, when you go through the class with me, everybody, you're going to get ample opportunity to self-assess. As I go through each lesson, we're going to do some self-assessment, see what you have learned. Now, what's going to get you over the finish line? You have to read this lesson before you come to class. You cannot come to class ill-prepared if you're going to be moved to take your career to the next level. You got to be prepared, right? Now, I mentioned about exam preparation. Make sure you get plenty of sleep, avoid cramming. That's important. Now, the main thing I want to leave you with today, buddy, believe that you can, and guess what? You are halfway there, right? At this point in time, this is our Q&A time. Any questions, anybody?
Yeah, thanks, Jim, for this great and informative presentation. Let's see if we have any questions from the audience. And guys, if you have any questions, please pop them your questions into the Q&A chat. We'll try to answer your questions, and if we do not get your answers during this webinar, we'll be sending out a follow-up email to all the registered participants. And if you want more information, please email us. I've added our LinkedIn profile and email addresses in the chat, so feel free to add us. Meanwhile, let me ask you some questions, Jim.
Okay.
How this Security Plus certification, is it Word certification in ID?
Is it a worthwhile certification? That's what you
Yeah,
asked me?
yeah.
It is. It is worthwhile certification, everybody. Again, if you can get that certification, that's you actually on your path to start your career path. Predictive security plus, that's a really recognized certification within the industry itself. And again, CompTIA is not a vendor. What they call it, a term they called it before. We got to call it's a non-vendor exam. Just put it that way. They don't cater to any specific Microsoft or something like that. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Yeah, we got a question from Katrina. What are the best study material for Security Plus?
When you go to sit for the Security Plus certification, you take it with us, you'll get the material to prepare for it.
Okay, and do
you end up, if you get the material you'll get with us when we do the class, we will be giving you the PowerPoint slide, the note slides. You can take notes as we go through each slide. You can take notes on your own. We'll be providing you with the slides. You'll get a part of a PDF of the book. It's a PDF of the book. You can actually study and read as well. You also will get access to a virtual labs, and I will walk you through the very first. Pretty much when I walk students in the very first lab, it kind of inducts, show you how to navigate. Then students are on their way to get it done. All you do is read and follow directions. It's not a very difficult at all to do that. So, any other questions?
Yeah, it's
I forgot to mention one other thing. You'll be suffering when I share stuff out about it, you get so much information, you'll be suffering information overload. So you'll be full, and a lot of time I even give a study guide too. So, but like I said, that's just one aspect of your preparation, looking at my study guide. Okay.
Okay, and we have the other question. It says, do you train students on performance-based questions?
Oh yeah, the performance-based question. Matter of fact, I have when we go to do the performance-based questions, I have a certain site you go to. You can get practice with performance-based questions. So you do get practice with those performance-based questions, no problem. Because I actually give out a handout that shows the question, and then you look on the next page, show you what the answer is. It explains how you came to the answer. So.
All right, and since some folks are from the non-IT background, so how hard is this exam to pass, and how much time does it take to get prepared for this exam?
Well, like I said, I had a young lady in my class who was a resident who had no IT experience whatsoever. She took a 40-hour class, and she took the exam within a month and got certified. So it's only an invitation. Now, again, the point is this: when I tell you to do X, Y, Z, and memorize port numbers, do all this kind of stuff, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get ready for the exam. Now, if you take my advice, now you should pass the exam the very first time around. But remember, sometimes some people don't pass the first time. But guess what? The second time they do. I was teaching a one-on-one class to a student, teaching to pass the Certified Advanced Security Practitioner course. The very first time he took the exam, he didn't pass it. Second time he did pass it. Sometimes you pass then again, like I said, this lady had no experience at all. But I think what happened is she studied a lot. And like I said, and she took my advice. She was prepared for coming to class. She asked questions, right? If you can't sit back and be like a flower and not ask questions, if you have a question, there's no such, and put it this way, whenever you take a class with Jim, there's no such thing as a bad question. The only bad questions is if you walk out of my class, don't ask the question. Remember, a lot of times we ask a question, somebody else may sit back and say, man, I'm glad she asked that question. That's the point. You got to be, in other words, here's the point. You got to be fully engaged in my class. Fully engaged. That's going to get you over the finish line.
Great. And does this certification requires any renewal?
Oh, yeah. Once you get the Security Plus certification, good for 3 years. During that 3-year period, you need to be acquiring CEUs. We call it Certificate of Educational Units. But again, the best advice I have for people in that regards is this: don't chase CEUs. Get the Security Plus done, then go knock out the cybersecurity analyst or some other certification out there. Like, for example, let's say you get through the Security Plus certification. Here's what I probably tell you. I say, no, the next certification you need to get, they have one offered by ISC Squared called Certified Cybersecurity. A lot of the stuff you learn in Security Plus is the same stuff you see on that exam. I remember studying for that exam. I took about 3 days for that exam, set and forth and passed the exam. Now, only thing about that exam, unlike most of that exam, you can't go back. You had to answer the question. You can't go back. You can't skip no questions. That's what the IC Squared exam. A lot of exams are changing that way too. Fortunately, Security Plus has not changed that. You can skip. Like that. Let's say, for example, you get a question on an exam. What I'm going to do when you go to teach a class with Jim, I'm going to show you 2 different approaches, how to approach these different questions. I use two approaches called deductive reasoning and reverse engineering questions. Now, again, I will be sharing with you techniques, how you go about approach answering these questions here. And we're going to get plenty of practice in class, so you'll be more than ready.
Okay, and we have got another question. For the performance-based questions, do you use a lab?
Oh, yeah. Now, normally with the performance-based question in themselves, what I do, I give you a handout, and they got one side I can show you. You got a bunch of performance-based questions you can practice with. And you know, now, for performance-based questions, you probably want to have about 2 or 3, maybe about 2. You're not going to have a bunch of performance-based questions. But the thing about it, when you're doing the labs, that's going to help you significantly with the performance-based questions. So you have to do the lab. Now, for example, if you don't, let's say, if you're a person new to the field and you never did an IT, I would tell you, make sure you do, as we go through the course, after class, work on the labs, do the labs, practice with the labs, practice with the labs. That's going to help you out. That also will help you with performance-based questions as well by actually doing hands-on lab. Why do you have the hands-on lab? A lot of the concept we discussed I like what CompTIA does is this. They come back and have a lab tied to what we discussed. That helps to reinforce the knowledge transfer. So again, if you're new to the field, I would definitely tell you, do all the labs.
Okay. We got a question from Ken. I'm in a loud environment, so will you be sending a recorded session? Yeah, yes, Ken. We are going to send the recording for this session on your email. Any question? I think it looks like this is all questions we have for today, Jim.
Okay.
And if there are any further questions, you guys can send us an email. And before we end this webinar, I would like to share an important information to our participants. We are running a promotion on some of our technical courses, including CompTIA Security Plus. If you're planning to upskill yourself or your team, please get in touch with us. Special prices are valid for the limited time. For individuals who want to prepare for this certification, this is a great chance to get this certification done from CCS with less cost. And it also includes the placement assistant. We have successfully placed many candidates in the recent past. And for the businesses who are looking to upskill their team, this is going to be the most cost-effective deal. We are going to share an email with our information. You can also visit our website and explore our courses. And when it comes to upskilling and reskilling, CCS Learning Academy is designed to be your organization's secret weapon. CCS Learning Academy is a one-stop solution for all your business needs. Our advanced talent solutions give you an access to the pool of skilled tech professionals ready to deploy anytime, aligning your business needs with no recruitment fee. A network of talented and passionate instructors are ready and waiting to work with you directly and with your team or with your entire company. If you're new to IT or you are a seasoned professional, we offer a wide range of courses for your needs. And if you would like more information, please contact us. Now, on behalf of CCS Learning Academy and Jim, we thank you for your attention to this important session and hope you enjoyed this intro session. Looking forward for our future webinars. Stay safe out there. And thanks, Jim.
Okay, you're welcome.